So this is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator Kolel. As I said before, like we're over a year that I've been working on Parshas Pinchas. Let's take a look at where I'm at right now. This is page Shin Kaf Tes, Parshas Pinchas. We're up at the top of the Matuk Midavash, and we're going to start doing something called maybe a 3 to 5 minute shir on the Zohar. We're going to do it in Parshas Pinchas, which is really a wild place. So then he goes on and he says like this. The Zohar begins and explains right here. Avol called Inan Ba'arad Yisrael. Avol Yisrael Haim Be'eretz Yisrael. When the Jewish people are in the land of Israel, the Makom and the Chosim, in the place where we rest, that we settle it. This is our natural place. When we are fed, we're fed through the Shechina, because it's all Kedusha. Oz Mekabdam Mezonosechem Ayidech Shechina. The Shechina brings us our sustenance. This is the same concept. He says it's a parallel concept, because he's been talking about the working of the organs of our body. This is the same concept as the two lobes of the lungs, how they water the Uma. What is the Uma? We talked about him previously. Because on them it is said that they're malachim. These are these two malachim, the side of chesed. They make ruchos. Now ruach is the breath of kedusha. Heim koyim mashkim mayim v'yayim. So he says that they pour out water and wine lachareya into the lung, hanikras uma, which is called uma. Shehi sar hamashkim. This process of this lung is called the prince of watering. In other words, they're going back to the dream of Paro. Because the Hashko says Halev, in order to be able to water the heart, Shuhu HaMalchus, which is Malchus. Train Kulyan Sar HaOfim. So then when you go to the other organs, the organs of the kidneys, this represents the prince of the bakers. The Beis HaKalayah Shehem Keneged Bebeis Malachi HaGevura, there are two Malachim on the side of Din, which is the side of Gevura. Shalechem ne'emar, on these it says Mesharsav Eish Lohet. Your servants, your masters, are your your officers. They are of burning fire. Heim ka'ayim sarha ofim. So this is similar to the master baker. The mavashlim hazera. What do? They cook. They cook the seed that is that is heading towards the yisod. The nachis men mocha, that ultimately came down to it from the mocha up above. Hamavashlim es azera, the matuk says, Hamavashlim es azera, hayored min amoach, that comes down from the moach, which is where the source of all energy is coming from. Kolomer aim mavashlim amashlimim as shefa hakarbanos. So now talking back to where we were talking before. It says that what they do is they complete the shefa that comes from the karbanos. Hayored min Tiferes, which comes down. In other words, the shefa goes up from the karbanos, comes back through Tiferes, which is their anpin, and connects. Hanikra muach lamalchus, which is called the muach for malchus, because it's panimi to malchus. So all of this is coming for Tiferes into malchus. Mavashlim, and as a result of that, mavashlim maya de mekablim mekan fereya, and this is the way that the water does the watering process. V'gam bavashlim, they cook. They boil up. Esamayim, the water. Shehem sod hanesachim, which is the secret of the libation offerings. Shemekabdach mekan fechareya, which are received as a result of the water that comes out of the lobes of the lungs. B'amalabasa the yechu malchu the yechu the liba. So after that, now comes the time for eating. Everything is cooked. In other words, the water comes out of the saramashkim, and that is the liquid, and then it is cooked and baked up by the sar in the kidneys by the sara ofim. Well, the basa the yechul malchu the yechul libas, and then after that the king eats. Who's the king? The sustenance that all comes out now, and it comes over to the king, which is the heart. He said, Ki achar shekabel v'achal hamelach shuhu halev min hashefa. So now when this heart eats this now, idmacha betrin kulkin delay ne'emer b'shtei hakalayos shalo. So he says too, now the heart says to his two kidneys, ichlu reim b'sod achilas agabanos. You lovers, go eat and feast. Like this is the secret of the gabanos. Usrein kanfe rea, and then he spoke to the two lobes of the lung. V'L'shei kanfi reya shalom ne'emer. In regards to this, it says, shasu, drink. V'shichro, get drunk. Doidim, because your love is, in other words, drinks together and enjoy. B'sod shtiyas on the nesachim. This is the concept of pouring the nesachim, the karbanos, on the altar. Kolom shagam elu hadala malachi hashachina. So now these 4 malachim, the Shechina, which we said, the 2 on the side of Chesed, 2 on the side of Geborah. All of this is pouring down through pouring out from the lungs. He says that's the metaphor. The lungs into the kidneys, into the heart. So ne'emar shasu v'shichru doidim. So let the lovers eat and enjoy themselves. This has to do with the Shefa that comes down from the Karbanos. This is Baruch Fleischman, just a little bit over 5 minutes.